Moves well laterally.
The thing is, though, like Julius Peppers, when he was at Carolina, like he gave up hoops that final season, but he was also a football player. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, this guy's athletic. Like you said, he's a big dude. But I also kind of feel bad for DJ, to be honest.
He's probably quarterback, actually, like DJ Burns. Just protect him in the pocket and let him just get those dimes off.
You know what? This is actually kind of pissing me off a little bit, though, with DJ, because, okay, so I don't know if you guys saw the video where, like, every time he balls out, he's a hooper. Yeah. And right now he's on a magical run, on a magical team, and he's one game away from the national championship. He's playing in the Final Four on Saturday, getting buckets. He just dominated against Duke, scored 20+. The dude's a hooper, so let's treat him like a hooper. I know he's a bigger guy, but it was like in the ACC tournament, they're bringing him over like cupcakes and cakes. It's not funny. Leave the guy alone. He's a freaking horse, probably because he's on, a crazy diet. He's probably just like going steak and chicken. He can't be putting that nonsense in his body right now. And now we're talking about him as a football player. He's probably not an NBA player, but maybe he goes and plays in Turkey overseas. Dude's a hooper. Treat him like a hooper. I'm sticking up for you, DJ. He doesn't want to hear that football nonsense, and get those cakes out of his face.
I mean, he's just
big bone. He's a big man.
He's 20-1 to win Most Outstanding Player. He's fluffy, as Gabriel Iglesias would say.
We'll put the cakes in his face, and then, like, in 2 years, if he's Zion, we'll be like, you need to lose weight.
Look, he's going to get opportunities.
He's got to care more about the sport.
If it's not opportunities in the NBA.
But it's serious, though.
Well, here's the deal. Edey showed on Sunday that he's built to last. He sat for 33 seconds.
Yep.
That's it. A man of that size going the whole game, basically, that's unheard of. And you know what Donovan Clingan doesn't do? That. Now, you could say, like, he's Jordan on the bench in the fourth quarter because it's always out of hand. But I think there's a real point to the difference in conditioning and stamina. Is Clingan going to be able to stay out? He plays 22 minutes a game, barely half the game. So is he going to be able to go blow for blow with Edey, who has already shown he'll go the whole 40 if he has to? Can Clingan go the whole 40? He's put together very differently than Edey is. And so I think that would be, why I like Purdue. It would be the hypothetical number is 6. Why I like Purdue 6 is because I know for a fact Edey can go the distance. And I haven't seen that from Clingan yet. And I think that could loom very large in a matchup like this.
Are they going to let him play, or are they going to be very tight and call things very tight? I said on Twitter, I don't have a problem with Zach Edey himself. I have a problem with how they officiate Zach Edey, because last game, half the fouls he drew against Tennessee weren't really fouls, whereas he was doing the same thing on the other end, and somehow he went foul-free in the first half. So to me, it's very hard to handicap that, because if they're calling it tight, Clingan more likely than Edey's going to be in foul trouble, and then things certainly change. Edey's obviously got a lot more moves than Clingan, but Clingan's not going to let him back down as much, and they're not going to need to double, which means that those shooters are not going to be open on the outside. So I know it's somewhat of a cop-out to say I don't know, but I really think it depends on the officiating and how much they let go on the inside, because Clingan can match Edey's physicality, but will they allow them to body each other up like that?
Yeah. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be to start the year. Is Aiden O'Connell, I guess, gets another look? That's what it looks like.
Probably.
But when they asked him, I don't know if they look to move up in the draft, but when they asked Antonio Pierce what he's looking for in his future quarterback or his quarterback for this year, he said, and I quote, "We want a damn runner." But here's my question to you guys. Justin Fields just went for a 2025 sixth-round pick. So he pretty much went to the Steelers for free. The Steelers were like, here's a bag of hot dogs and a dirty muffin, and the Bears are like, we'll take whatever we could get. Why wouldn't the Raiders have made that deal? A sixth-round pick in 2025?
Do you think they knew about it? Do you think they were having that conversation,
They had to have, because remember, there was like no market for Justin Fields.
Right.
We all thought that it was going to be Atlanta or it was going to be Pittsburgh, and it ends up being Pittsburgh, but he's not even most likely going to be the starter to start the year. He's going to be competing with Russ.
What if they never really talked to him? Really, what if the Raiders never talked to the Bears? And it was just like rumors were that would be a great spot for him, but it wasn't the case.
And I'm not even saying like Justin Fields is going to be an all-pro. He might not even ever start again in this league. But that man can run.
He's a runner. He's a track star.
Yeah. Like if you're looking for a quarterback that's a dual threat, a guy that could use his legs, that's like the one dude, maybe one of the more explosive players in the league. I don't know if he's a quarterback, but he's a hell of a football player. So that didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Even if he's just going to be a bridge guy and you're going to draft a guy and you want a guy that's going to be a runner, why the hell wouldn't you want Justin Fields to be that bridge guy over Aiden O'Connell? I don't know. That's why I'm not there with the Raiders, man. I think the Raiders are going to be a disaster, and I think there's going to be buyer's remorse with Antonio Pierce.
I think you have to say it's Embiid simply because the Sixers are completely written off in his absence, right? I mean, the T-Wolves have held their own, and we've fallen in love with Ant-Man in the process. Embiid is the reason we believe in the Sixers at all. Now, he hasn't gotten it done in the postseason, I think, for a myriad of reasons. Oftentimes he's been hurt. He likes to sell out for calls and stuff like that, and the officiating can get a little tighter in the playoffs in a good way. But in a sense, there's a chance, as long as he's actually right, that his injury was a blessing in disguise for them, because generally it's this point of the year when he's really starting to break down. So if he broke down when he did, got right in the meantime, and then is fresh for the playoffs and they can get the best version of Embiid, because I don't think we're ever going to see the guy play, game one through the postseason completely healthy. Maybe it works out in their favor, but I think you have to say it's Embiid simply because he changes the entire equation for Philly.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially considering, like you said, a healthy Embiid is a very dangerous Embiid, and we just really don't get that Embiid in the playoffs. What are you hearing about Julius Randle, Robin, if anything? Do you think if he comes back, it'll be difficult to integrate him into an offense that has completely changed and evolved since his injury?
I don't think it'd be too difficult to integrate him just because they need that talent injection. They've been so reliant. I mean, look, Knicks fans have been crying for 2 days because Jalen Brunson didn't get a call at the end of the game, and that's how much they need those sort of things to go their way, because they're really at a talent deficit with both Randle and Anunoby out of the lineup. The Randle situation has almost been eerily quiet. I would be concerned about him coming back fully healthy just because we haven't gotten those, or there hasn't been this concrete update on exactly when he'll be returning. But I think you have to want him back. I wouldn't worry about, the integration into the lineup, because he's another guy in the playoffs. He sometimes will make the wrong decision when the game is close at the end, can be forced into bad decisions, that sort of thing. But he's just such an upgrade for them with his ability to score, with his ability to, he could shoot the ball too. I mean, Randle was really having a good year and really had a good year last year as well. So I think, for the Knicks to be the kind of contenders some of us has pegged them at, they need to be fully healthy. Otherwise, it's just too much that's falling on Jalen Brunson.